Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
All right, welcome to the KVJ ATS Podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show Podcast.
Jaber was just looking for his phone a second ago. Did you get it? Everything all good?
Yeah, we have a bunch of stuff we have, I think, for Little Smiles. We have like 9,000 bags in there, and it was stuck in the middle of the bags.
It was.
Okay.
It's because the bags are in my little area I sit during commercial break.
All right. So
We're all
got
good.
Everything's all together. We're all here.
No one's got your phone looking at all your sexting?
I could use some good sexting these days.
All right, what you need?
Okay.
Would it be creepy?
I just got to make sure I'm sexting with the right person.
Okay. Do you want to just give out your number now, or?
No, because I don't know if that's going to be the right person, Kev.
I promise you, it's probably going to be the wrong dude.
Yeah, just people in general, when you start giving your number out, weird shit does start to come
Oh,
through.
yeah, it does. Oh, yes, it does. Got to watch yourself. Got some weird stories here. Ambien. Had some follow-ups on that. We were talking about all the bizarre stuff that had happened, from women getting up and shaving off their hair in the middle of the night to waking up at 3 a.m. in their driveway, washing their car with Gatorade.
That was the funniest one.
And Sarah said, my mom had taken some Ambien for a while. And she's a nurse. She used to work nights when I was in middle school. So on her days off, she would take the Ambien so she could catch up on her sleep. Well, the first few times, we received massive packages from QVC. Like, what is going on here? We got 2 treadmills, 5 video cameras, and a massage chair. All without recollection.
Oh, my gosh.
Then we figured out Mom was on Ambien.
That's crazy.
Her final straw to get her off the Ambien was, I was in 7th grade, and I heard banging and banging and banging, and I'm like, what is going on? So I run into my mom's room to see what's going on, and there she is, buck naked, redecorating her entire master bedroom using one of my shoes as her hammer.
Oh, my.
And she's just hammering random shit all over the walls, like a noodle. That was the last time she took Ambien.
People start to stay up on it, and you start to hallucinate.
Sarah's coming out to Cocktails and Karaoke on Friday for a Grease sing-along.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah, I got chills,
They're multiplying.
and I'm losing control.
'Cause this power you're supplying, it's electrifying.
Yeah. Ready to go, man. It's
I'm
been a
ready.
while.
I'm ready. I was going to see if you wanted to come over early, Virginia, and help me with my zombie makeup. Is that a hell no or a fuck no?
No, I got to go buy some zombie makeup.
I'll buy it. No, very turnkey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the only son of a bitch dressing up, aren't I?
Yeah, I don't see me doing that. That's probably not going to
It's
happen.
okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's all
I'll
right.
dress up for all of us.
I want to dress up.
You should. You should go as a witch. Then I can film you. That'll cut out some of our filming.
All right.
I love it. Okay, it's
Done.
all working. I love working with a drunk Virginia. It's so much fun, Kev.
Yeah.
Said nobody.
I'll be a witch at Brother Jimmy's.
This fucking video is stupid. One of the most uncomfortable moments I've had, and it takes a lot to make me uncomfortable, is when you and Panda got into your fight while we were trying to film the final scene of Victims Galore. Gosh, that was uncomfortable. Because they both try to pull me aside to get on their side. Can you believe she's doing this shit, man? Can you believe that when he leaves, can you believe Panda? Can you believe that motherfucker? I'm like, guys, I don't want to be stuck in the middle here. Denny's is fake fixing his camera.
And it wasn't broken. Fake fix
It was so uncomfortable.
Another Ambien story. I walked into my mom's bedroom. She's sitting there on the edge of the bed, and I said, what are you doing, Mom? And she's like, oh, I'm just sitting here eating some breadsticks. It wasn't breadsticks. It was incense.
I mean, are they even close?
That's amazing.
Have you ever seen those little skinny?
Yes.
They actually could be kind of close.
Totally.
She's just sitting there chowing down on incense sticks.
Oh my God.
See, this is why we cannot be taking Ambien, y'all.
Not a good idea.
It's not good. It's not good. And you may be able to ride it for a little while and everything's fine. I got a text message from my friend and he was like, oh yeah, I took it for years. I had no troubles. And then all of a sudden, he took an Ambien and then went to go lay down, but didn't go to bed. Instead, got up, drove his Jeep to the beach, jumped the fence at somebody's private house to get to the beach, and then almost got arrested when the cops showed up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's so awful.
Okay, this is not the kind of person that would be jumping fences and
Normally,
ever. Like, come on, Ambien.
Yeah, you act out of your mind.
You act out of your mind like a crazy person.
But we've got to make weed illegal. People could really hurt themselves.
Weed is illegal and Ambien is legal. That makes no sense.
I don't want to get on a big old thing. Well, yeah, weed's better. But you're right. Some people really can feel a good effect of weed I'm talking going to bed and insomnia. It helps a lot of people, man. Mm-hmm. It does.
Better calm down. Denny's getting all fired up in there.
When you say fired up, is he lighting something?
Yeah, man, I really agree with you. I'm so angry right now.
It is weird, though, the things that are considered legal, even alcohol.
Yeah.
Alcohol's insane, man.
It is.
It is.
I know. Don't get it. Something else we might want to think about making illegal malt vinegar.
Ugh. Kevin, we are not the same right now.
I am just feeling better now. Thank goodness you brought me like a little breakfast because I drank that malt vinegar. It went down, no problem. I was like, this is easy.
It wasn't, though.
But then about 15 minutes later, my stomach was making the weirdest noises. And
Should have dropped it like it's hot during one of our pre-recorded calls today.
She did. It was hot, huh?
I mean, you were gone. You were gone for a good 20 minutes.
And I wasn't going to come back until I was finished.
Yeah.
I was like, they'll be fine.
I knew you were getting too high on the hog with your comments about vinegar. I think I have an ulcer. That's why I feel like it hurt. It got to me quicker.
Yeah.
It burns. I don't recommend it. We did 4 shots of that shit.
Yeah, it's no joke.
Well, one of our listeners from the Bahamas, Dr. Astrid, had said, Virginia and Denny's right about the malt vinegar. I grew up using it on French fries. I'm from the Bahamas, and this is a holdover from the British.
Yeah.
In the UK, only children use ketchup. Malt vinegar is the bomb. I have had it on, I think the first time I ever had it, I was at a fair. And you know those fair fries they have?
Yes.
And somebody put the malt vinegar on. I'm like going, you just ruined the French fries. Like, just try it. And I did. I'm like, that's amazing. It was really good on those
Fish
fair
and
fries.
chips. That's the chips.
Yeah. It was great. On that style of fry. I don't know if I'd say on everyone, but that one was fantastic. Loved it. Christy in Green Bay said, why does leaving pronounce s'mores? I think leaving. I think it was supposed to be Kevin. Why does Kevin pronounce s'mores with a shamores? Reminds me of when he thought everybody said scritches, ha ha ha. You know what? I think it was, I know it's s'mores. I think I got that in my head. I think it is a Logan thing. I had my next door neighbor, he always, s'mores. So it was just something we did. Yeah.
I think that's a fun way to say it. S'mores.
Yeah, I think it was just one of those nights.
It's been a minute since I've had a good s'more.
They're great.
They are done right. They're great.
We used to have them a lot because, there'd be a lot of open fires where I grew up.
I love that.
Yes. So
would you guys do hot dogs as well on a stick?
Yeah, you do all kinds of stuff. I mean, they throw anything in there. Hot dogs, your s'mores, your buddy, all kinds of stuff would go in the fire. So
your buddy unwillingly.
Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff we did for redneck fun. But yeah, I loved it.
I still, to this day, I have a barbecue grill on my back porch. It'll be 90 degrees outside, and I'll be out there grilling because I love like a charcoal grill with those wood chips that you put in there, and you just make it smell like mesquite.
The smell is unbelievable. There are some restaurants that you go into, and it's like they've used the wood chips are cooking or grilling, and I'm just like, I love that smell. It's amazing.
Me too.
Crazy, yeah. Some restaurants do it. In fact, I need to get a list of those restaurants because I smell like, oh, it's the best thing ever. Love it. Yeah, and some places do that. I can't remember what they are, but I would just go sit out front of the restaurant. I'm not even going to go inside and eat. I'm just going to sit outside and smell.
That's how I feel about gasoline sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll be at a gas station and it hits me in the head like a ton of bricks, and it's like I want to jump into the gas. And I don't know.
I think gas fumes eat brain cells.
I'm not. We've talked about this before. I'm not the only one that gets some kind of weird thing when you smell gas, but I don't know. It just opens me up. I just want to jump in the fucking gas.
Come over here. I've got some gas for you.
No, not that
Open right up.
I'll open you right
You
up.
got something to fill it?
I can't explain it, but it's been something like that since I was a kid. I was like that.
Well, you're not the only one, because remember back in the day, those scratch and sniff stickers? One of them was gasoline, and it was one of the most popular scratch and sniff stickers.
Really?
The gasoline one.
Okay. There you go. You're on to something. Jay Money in the Fort sent an email, said, I think it'd be hilarious if Bird would ride to work on one of those bird scooters.
I ain't against it.
Especially in the cheerleader uniform. Would be interesting to see if it's cheaper than Uber. Yeah, I don't think, where the studio is in West Palm, I don't think they have them. And then even in Fort Lauderdale, they keep doing stuff to crack down on them. I think putting curfews, and they've got, I think they're putting different governors on, like you can't like ride them on the sidewalks or something like that. I think is one of the rules. And then you got some freaking loose cannons going around cutting the brake cords on them. All kinds of stuff.
That's no good.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's going to be a long-term fixture in Fort Lauderdale.
I loved it. When we were out in L.A., that's how me and Mags got around. It was awesome.
They were big in Columbus, Ohio, when I went up there for a Buckeye game. Everybody was zipping around on them. All these drunk college students drive out in traffic. I'm like, all right. Here we go. Yeah, it seems great. Barry has got an idea here. Jason's face says, Jason, you have to stop betting your face on things unless we actually put your face up. So I propose the next time Jason bets his face and loses, like on yesterday's Fact or Fiction, is that you get his face for the day. Maybe it's full of makeup, or maybe you get to write something on it. But there is something that if he's going to put his face up, something has to happen to the face, and it's time to step it up in 019.
You're right. I got to step it up more. I agree. The cheerleading outfit every single day is not enough. Let's step it up. Put me on a moped. I'll drive to work, and then I will fuck up my face.
Yes. So I think he's saying if you bet your face, then Virginia gets to write asshole or something on it. I don't know.
I can't wait. Let's do it. And you know what? As I'm riding to work, let me chug 2 more gallons of vinegar. Let's fucking go for it.
That's right. Step it up. I believe that's your phrase. That's why you don't say step it up in 019, because people will hold you to it.
Oh, I know.
That's why I say I'm stepping it back.
Kevin, I'm trying to. It's just
I know. I'm going in the opposite direction.
I feel like I'm dying.
Yes. That's why you got to stop saying it.
And I'm not good enough. It's not good enough.
Never is.
Never.
It's got to stop.
People
Insanity.
People are still on my ass about getting my name changed. I'm working on getting my name changed in Pizza Pennington.
It's a lot of stuff floating out there.
I swear. I'm working
You
on
got to stop
it.
committing.
We got the Naked Mile done. That's good.
True.
Let me see here. A couple other emails. This is a random thought and question here. It says, hey, KVJ, I got a question. Hope you'll answer. You guys are the epitome of what it means to be in radio for the love of the game. You always do an after-the-show podcast. You put a lot of work into the show. You encourage audience interaction and input. And then there are the radio stations that replay old bits while they're there, and their whole after-the-show podcast is them bitching about how management is forcing them to do it, and they leave after 7 minutes of that, etc. Anyways, can you identify who you think does radio proud and who should hang it up? I think...
Let's not do the hang it up one.
I think Dave Ryan in Minneapolis is pretty good. Pretty good guy with solid effort. And I'm talking about morning radio shows and nothing political. Thanks. Yeah, Dave Ryan is fantastic. He is on KDWB, and you can listen to his podcast. Dave is an inspiration to me. He's older than I am. Dave's one of the reasons why I got into radio. I think I've said that. He was on WNCI in Columbus when I was at Ohio University. And I remember listening to him as I was just starting in like college radio, and I'd listen to him like going, that dude sounds like he's having a good time. And so it was really listening to Dave in those days. And so I've always, and Dave knows that. Dave and I talk a good bit. We share a lot of ideas. He and I think maybe because I listen to him and he's doing a lot of stuff that we had, he's had a major impact, been a major influence on me and this show.
I don't like a lot of radio. He's one of the few shows that I really do like. I like his personality, and he's a really nice guy in person.
He's amazing. Yeah.
Sometimes, especially someone like me, when I first got into radio, a lot of people at those boot camps, they don't really talk to you. He was very, very kind and very nice to me.
Yes.
Aww.
I can't say enough about Dave.
Yeah.
Very close with him, and he has been a major influence on this show and stuff that you've heard. And so, yeah, we were very like-minded in our concepts and what we think. And he is great. He's still very creative. And he is not dialing it in at all.
I think, too, all of us really genuinely like what we do. I know it's busy, and I know you want to break your hair off, but you still love radio, don't you, Kev?
I do. Yeah, I do. I will tell you that, it's taken some time for me because, and for people that don't know, it is soul sucking. It is very difficult. I think that, when you're trying to put together a show every single day and you got to prep, it takes everything that you've got.
Because you care about that.
Yeah,
There's
right.
a lot of people on radio that don't do that.
Sure.
I think that's what that email's about.
Yeah, and I hate it. If I feel like we did not dial in our best, even one segment, I'm like, that could have been better. I
If we
feel
suck,
bad about it.
it's
Yeah.
not on purpose. We're
Right.
trying.
We're trying.
we just suck.
And we want to always try to do different stuff.
We
And
tried to be great.
We did. We try.
And, I was even thinking about that today. There's just so many parameters. I think back at stuff we did. I'm like, gosh, I love that stuff. A lot of stuff legally we cannot do anymore. That, if you used to listen to us 15, 20 years ago, we did some crazy shit that there's no way we could do it today and still be like employed, or even if we did it on a podcast, we still would be arrested and sued. And it's a different environment.
And I'm not talking about all the red tape and all the annoying stuff, but when it comes to just cracking the mic and then doing a show, that I feel like you still love.
Yeah,
that's the part you can control.
I do. You know what? I honestly, I love people. I truly do. I love hanging out with people. I love being here for people. I love connecting with people. I love to try to help people out. And I can't think of any job that I would do where I could do that, where, I get to hang out with very funny people that make people laugh and make people feel better, and we have a chance to help people. So I love that.
Who are the funny people you hang out with?
You guys, of course. And so I love all that kind of stuff, and I love making people feel good. That's why, trust me, I have every radio consultant in the world. They cannot believe that we do shout-outs and do birthdays. And they're like, that is so beneath you guys, and that is the lamest shit I've ever heard any radio. They're like, you're better than that, Kev. I'm like I fight them on that because I'm like, I know how special it makes people feel. And if I can do that and it takes just a second to say someone's name on the radio and we get videos of them, that's all it takes is the videos of kids crying and laughing. And I'm like, that's all. I don't care if it's the worst radio ever. It's making somebody feel amazing. And yeah, from a schematic thing, if I stood up in front of a room of radio people and said, we do birthdays or we talk to people, and people are like,
Loser!
Yeah, they're terrible. I know what on KVJ is awful. I don't give a shit because it makes people feel great. And that's the number one reason why I love doing this, and that's what gets me to do it.
And they do. They send us videos of their kids like squealing with delight in the back seat and
that's
clapping.
amazing.
And like when you make a kid feel that way, you make the mama and the daddy happy, and then you make everybody happy. Like you're spreading love, and it takes all of 10 seconds to do that.
Not only kids, adults lose their shit if they don't.
Yeah.
If we're a day late or something, people just like hearing their name.
Yeah, Feel Good Friday, that kind of stuff, kind of the same thing. But to me, I love that, and I believe in local radio, or at least regional radio, where you can really make an imprint on an area and you can talk to the people in that area. I love that we get to do that. And that, we get to mention stuff that people are like, oh, I drive past that, or I know that, or, we get to really go out. I get to sit at a bar and have beers with people that listen to our show. So,
or this is all cool
that
stuff that I could do this weekend because it's awesome. And Kevin always tells me the fun stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
I just love you both so much.
Yeah.
I love you.
Good. As far as like people that should hang it up, I think, the way the industry is now, and, when I was coming up through, there were some shows I worked with somebody that should have hung it up.
Jason Pennington.
No, way back in the day. This was a guy that would come in 5 minutes after the show started. He'd leave 5 minutes before it was over, and he wouldn't prep the entire day. And that was it. He had a massive ego. He didn't want to work. He didn't like people. And
wrong business, dude.
yeah, and it forced him out. And I say, the industry is that way now that if you don't put everything you have into it every day, it is shrinking. And at first people are like, this is terrible. I'm like, I actually was sitting back and applauding. I'm like, good. Because honestly, you should deserve this job. You are working for the people. You are there to make them smile, make them happy. And if you're not going to put everything you have into it every single day, then good riddance. And I was happy to see a lot of people. Why you don't belong in this industry? Go find another job.
And they did.
They had
a
to.
lot of people had to because of the downsizing.
Yeah, so I don't even have to say that because you can just look at people that used to be in radio and are not. And some of them were talented and did try, but it just wasn't for them. And so, but it did rectify. There were probably the 2 or 3 people I would name. All 3 of them are out of the industry now. So it took care of itself. And I know, same way with us. If we don't dial it in, if we start dialing it in, if we don't bring everything we got every single day, then you're going to see me at Publix. I will be bagging your groceries.
Sometimes we'll get a comment, yo, really dialing it in today. No, again, we're trying hard.
We tried, we just missed.
That would be so cute if I looked over and I saw you and Magnolia bagging
We
side by
could.
side.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite jobs. I used to do that. It was my first job ever.
It'd be way cuter if he was behind the deli and he was 40 pounds heavier. That's what I want.
That sounds hot.
I want to
yeah.
think of my
It sounds like you want him in the bakery.
I want Fat Kevin in the bakery.
Oh.
Some would say maybe that is the right move. No,
You never know. One day. One day. Also, I heard the term payola as it refers to radio, and I want to know if it's one of those things that everyone does or if it's super rare. How likely is it that somebody would get caught? Payola used to refer to you would have program directors who could decide what the music is played, and we're not in that job, that people would pay them to start playing music to influence that to make hits. And that's what payola was. We have something called pluggle that more refers to us, where if somebody's like, hey, I'll give you all this free stuff if you just kind of like mention my business on the radio several times and all that. And so, we're always, that's one of the cool things of this job is that, yeah, there are some free things that you can get, but we just have to make sure that to not do that, we have to run it through our sales department and they know what's going on. And if we declare it saying, hey, just so you know, they're giving me something for free, I can't do a this for that. They have to run it through.
I forget what I was watching, but it was all about plugola or payola back in the 70s and early 80s. And the whole special was talking about, have you ever wondered why a certain song was popular and you just don't get how it could be, and then you never hear it ever again, but it was a hit back in the day? Payola. People were all, cocaine, hookers, all that stuff that get songs on the air.
It was a crazy
doing that
deal.
kind of
Yeah.
shit.
Back in the fun days.
Yeah.
But you could get your songs played.
70s
Hookers and blow.
Yeah, 70s and 80s, and yeah, I would hear stories that like a limousine would just pull up to the radio station, and a couple of the DJs would pop in. There would be hookers in there, and they're all naked, and they would just be doing literally like lines of cocaine off their asses, and just then you go to the strip club, and they would give you thousands of dollars. It's just crazy.
Oh yeah, this is the new song from Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Yeah, that was like the 70s. That's what.
Nothing
it was.
against Casey and the It's the first group I thought of. Sure, they're great.
They earned their hits.
They earned their hits. Yeah, they did. That was a joke.
Mm-hmm. Eric has a question. I've been listening since you guys were in Miami and now on WRMF. And one thing I'm curious about, and maybe you can answer for me, is what happened to WRMF? Now, I know you told the audience about the new company that bought you guys, and that's great that they are so cool. But what I'm more meaning is what happened to things like the high-low cash game, Hanukkah Henry contest, etc. Also, some of the personnel changes, like you guys are there, and so is Tracy St. George. But whatever happened to Dave Brewster with all the requests, with the all request lunch hour. Yeah, I mean, radio stations, they have turnover, and, probably what it is, the Hanukkah Henry, they've not run since we've been here. That was before that. And the high-low cash game, we did that a little bit when we first got here, is you'll have, Leo is that guy right now. You'll have the program director, and they, decide those contests. So as you get different people in that position, they may bring different ideas and things will change. And
But
Dave,
nothing to do with us.
No.
These are all management and programming decisions that we have no control over.
Yeah, Dave moved out of town, and he still, even after he'd moved, I can't remember, where did he move? Like
Louisiana,
yeah.
Yeah.
So even after he moved, he still was on the station a little bit, and then they finally wanted to get somebody that lived in town and all that. So, now we've got Nikki on, and,
I
she
love
lives
Nikki.
here.
She's really nice.
Really cool.
She's really fun.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, Tracy on the afternoon and Suits at night. So, yeah, that's kind of how radio stations and why radio stations change a little bit. It's usually a change in that position, or just maybe they, want to do something different. So.
Yeah, it has to always change, though. That's the thing about it. Like, it's got to always get fresh and get new, and radio will always change.
Yeah.
And stay the
It
same.
will. It should.
It's
yeah.
the ultimate paradox.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of the battle that we constantly have. As I think about this show, it's like, okay, what things do we need to move on from? What things can we go back to? What things should stay? What things should change, and how?
Let's move on from all vinegar bits.
Yeah.
Yes, including the dirt of the day.
It's not vinegar.
Well, it makes me feel like I've drank it when I'm listening. No, I like the dirt. It's just so fun. You rip on me all the time, so I gotta throw something at you. The dirt I go after.
Mm-hmm. I got an anonymous email here about the movie Joker. I don't think it's a spoiler, but everybody's in an uproar because the movie glamorizes violence and shootings, but I think it does the exact opposite. It says here, I'm a licensed mental health therapist, and I found the movie to be really eye-opening, public service announcement that everybody should see. It perfectly depicts how society contributes to the eventual breakdown of an already mentally ill person. Child abuse, constant bullying, cutting funding on things like therapy and medication, will break even a strong person, let alone a mentally ill person. Joker tried very hard to fit societal norms, to be caring and empathetic, but no one else cared. People, we need to be better. Smile at others, be kind, love one another. That's how we stop these mass shootings and other violence. Go see Joker because you care. Protesting the violent movie doesn't help. After all, ignorance isn't always bliss. And that's a really good point, and that's that video that I brought up, I think on Monday for the Call 'Em Out, that I thought was really amazing. The kid that had brought the gun into the school in Oregon, the video had just come out like on Friday, and so that's why we're talking about it on Monday, where the gym teacher, or I think the coach, was able to disarm the student who was going to go in there and commit suicide. And when he got the gun away from the kid, he just gave him a big hug. He just latched onto him. Because I think that's a big part of it. It's just things go bad and one thing spins after another, and you don't know what people are going through. And you're right. There are things that you could have a little bit of mental illness, but things, if it just, one thing after another just starts piling on.
All those outside forces can break you.
Yeah.
I love what the email says about the whole smile at strangers, smile at one another. But it makes me think of a conversation we had about 8 or 9 months ago when we were like, oh, if you're a guy and you're by yourself, don't even smile at a woman, don't wave at her because some women maybe feel threatening. And I was kind of giving y'all pushback saying you can't smile at somebody anymore, you can't wave. But no, if you're a guy walking by your side, do you guys remember that conversation we had? We had a whole conversation about if you're a guy walking alone, just don't even bother smiling or waving at a woman because it could be perceived as threatening. I remember us having that conversation. It bummed me out.
If she's by herself and it's a situation where, maybe it's like nighttime or something, then you don't want to scare somebody.
But that's not what our conversation was. That was basically...
What was the specifics of it?
It just was how if you're a guy and you're walking by yourself and you see a woman by herself, it wasn't even dark time. It was just mind your own business. Don't even say anything. Just keep walking. And I remember that conversation bumming me out because you had a bunch of emails come in. Oh yeah, backing that kind of mind frame up. So I agree with the email. I think you should smile at strangers and people.
But some douchey people have messed it up for a lot of the decent people.
I get that.
And it's scary if you're by yourself or you're easily intimidated and some guy tries to start talking to you. And maybe it's happened before where some guy tries to be nice to you and then he turns out to be not very nice.
I totally understand.
And you get a little like triggered by that. And then it's just better just to leave them girls alone. But you never know which girls have been through it and which haven't.
Well, the conversations that we've had about stuff like that, and probably that one included, is it's given me an understanding and appreciation to, because I'm a guy, I think it's a little bit different, that there are certain circumstances that females feel threatened or they don't feel comfortable in, and so they're going to be a little bit skittish. So for me, having that awareness of saying, okay, based on the dynamics of this, just even the other day we were talking about creepy things guys do that they don't even realize and they think is okay. And the one was the guy who puts his arm up and kind of like is blocking the door, and she feels like there's
that guy's a fuckface, yeah.
But I'm using that as an example of some of the dynamics to understand sometimes that, hey, somebody in this position, whether it's late at night and all those factors go into it, that, do it accordingly and appropriately. And there are times, to smile and say, hey, and absolutely. And other times be like, hey, they may feel weird if I, kind of do this. And, but yeah, I think for the most part, yeah, we should show love to each other.
And when there's other people around and it's like a safe environment, like you're probably fine. I'm talking about when she could feel vulnerable.
Sure.
And she's like by herself.
I get that. I remember that part I agreed with, but then we kind of got into a little bit more, just, you know what, if you're a dude,
you can't go wrong if you stay quiet.
That was pretty much what the end of that conversation was.
I kind of still hold that position. You can't mess up if you don't do anything.
I think one of the specifics was you said jogging. You saw a girl jogging. You said you say hi and smile.
I agree. I hear you. But there was other examples. I know everyone's always, no, is that nighttime bird? No, I agree with that. But there was other examples we had given, and it was still kind of like what you just said. You can't get in trouble if you don't say anything.
It's true.
Yeah, and I think it's also, too, recognizing some instances where people want to be focused and don't want to be bothered at the gym and sometimes running and things like that. They're just working through their thoughts. And so if somebody comes across as rude, if you see a runner just run past you, sometimes they're just in their own head and they got their own focus on.
That I get.
Yeah, so I think that might be some of the things. Now, Jaybird, interesting question here. What do you think people say behind your back? If you had to guess, what do you think the closest people in your life say behind your back when you're not around? Family members, friends, coworkers, significant others. Do you think they speak well of you, or do they talk trash?
Do you think, if you had to guess, if anytime you leave and Panda has a chance to talk about you, is it majority good? Is it bad? Is it somewhere in the middle? Or would he never speak ill of you?
I like to think he never speaks ill, but I know that's not true.
Yeah, let's come back down from La La Land.
I think that everybody talks trash. And if they say they don't ever talk any kind of trash, whatever, I don't trust them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's a thing where if you vent, people consider that gossiping, and I think it's healthy to vent to people you trust. You have to. You're going to go out of your fucking mind if you don't.
Yeah, I think if you keep it all bottled up inside, you're going to explode one day.
If I have a great time with Virginia, when she leaves the room, Virginia's awesome. If we get into a fight, can you fucking believe that witch, Kevin? So I think it just kind of depends on what happens.
And I can hear you.
Kevin, I can't believe this shit.
I think to me, it really just kind of depends. It's one thing for me. I try to watch my circles, and I hang with a lot of people, but the people I try to keep close are people that I, for the most part, would believe that they would not. And I've had people that I used to hang with that it got back to me that, when I wasn't around, they were saying something about me, and you're gone.
But do you know that for a fact that they said it?
Well, because the things they said, the person who told me would have only known if this person would have told them. And so if you wind up not getting a call back, or I just don't hang with you anymore, then that's probably one of the main reasons. That's one of the quickest ways to get cut from my little inner circle.
I've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
I think that you keep a great circle of friends and you keep them close, but I don't need to be friends with everybody. It's not even close to necessary.
Listen to this comment in the chat room. Jason says, "My wife trashes me to my face. There's no telling what she says behind my back."
No, honestly,
that's probably a woman you can trust, because she tells you to your face what you're doing wrong, and she probably doesn't trash you.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Same with the Queen. My wife will tell me she doesn't hold anything back, and if she says something to somebody, it's what she would say to me already to my face. So, and I appreciate that part of it. And she actually, I worry because people have said shit about me to her. And if you that woman will twist on you fast. She does not like people talking shit about her husband, and she will make it ugly and quick.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I have seen it happen real quick.
I will warn you, don't talk shit about me to the queen, because she will, and she does not care about causing a scene. She will raise her voice.
Even if you're kidding around, it's kind of like one of those things. She can rip on you, we can rip on you. We're in the family, we're in the nest. But if you're somebody that she doesn't know and you're ripping on Kevin, look out, man.
Yeah. And I qualify it as constructive or destructive. Like, I try to watch myself. Sometimes you have to have a conversation about somebody when they're not in the room that hopefully is constructive, to get somebody's opinion, say, hey, I'm doing this because I'm trying to figure out, how do you think I should handle this situation right now? I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do it. And sometimes it's a fine line. You're like going, are you being destructive in what you're saying or constructive? And so I just try to keep an inner circle, whether it be family, friends, coworkers, whatever. Say anything to my face, and I tell people, you can say whatever you want to me. It's all good. We can get past it.
All right, Dickless, here we go.
Say whatever you want to my face, but yeah, if I find out you're talking shit behind my back, then no matter what you're gonna be, like, we're not gonna have a very deep relationship. So, just my personal take on that one. Here was an interesting request, Jacqueline.
Please say it's no vinegar.
Yes, I would like to see Jaybird punch himself in the face 10 times to see if his eyes would blacken.
Why don't we save that for tomorrow's show? In the heart of the show, that's a great bit.
No, the email actually says, I'm interested in purchasing a hashtag #BeCoolWickering shirt or wicking shirt, but I don't see it in the KVJ store. So is it possible to request that? I think those are the Fisher shirts, fisherman shirts, kind of Fisher person shirts, whatever we call them in today's PC society.
So there are absolutely customizable products from Sass or Salt. All you have to do is go onto our website, kvjshow.com, click on the merchandise, and if you don't see what you want there, send them an email and let them know you want to do something custom, and they'll let you know what the price is, and you guys can figure out if it's good for you. But yeah, a lot of those Bahamas shirts they made for us were customized. It cost a little extra, but it's well worth it. The Sass or Salt girls have wonderful products, wonderful customer service, and they will hook you up.
Okay, cool. So that is a request for the merchandise, and we got a lot of good stuff, and we're working on ways to make it better and even more convenient and all those kind of good things. So that is going to be coming real soon.
I got one more message I wanted to share with you. Remember those sweet people that we had come in and visit us from the Bahamas?
Yes.
When we were doing the 48? So Jessica and her man that free dives, they were in here helping raise money for the Bahamas. When they went back home last night, somebody stole their boat in the Exumas.
Oh, my gosh.
And a lot of people in the Bahamas listened to us, so they wanted us to put the word out. Beautiful, big, the boat that they usually go off of, a 35-foot Intrepid center console with twin F300 Yamaha outboard. Somebody stole it last night.
Oh, my gosh.
That's their boat they use for business, too.
Yeah.
Like, they do charters and stuff with that.
Okay. All right.
Sorry to hear about that.
Me too.
How's transportation or communication, out of the Bahamas? Texting and emails and all that?
It's getting back up there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really getting back up there a lot better than it was just even a few weeks ago.
Okay. Well, then, if you can, let us know if you know anything about that. Mail
Please.
at kvjshow.com. All right, y'all have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.